The 351 Cleveland wasn't just another engine. It was Ford's ultimate weapon, a high-revving street-legal race motor designed to annihilate the competition. It could rev past 7,000 RPM, breathe like a big block, and deliver effortless high-speed power. But instead of becoming Ford's greatest success, it was erased. Not phased out, not discontinued. Erased. Why? Because it was simply too good. Corporate greed, government crackdowns, and a changing world all conspired to bury this masterpiece before it reached its full potential. But here's the shocking part. Ford didn't just kill the 351 Cleveland. They might have sabotaged it themselves. So let's break down how it was built, why it was banned, and how it could have changed the future of muscle cars forever. Why Ford built the 351 Cleveland by the late 1960s. The muscle car wars were at their absolute peak. Chevy had the big block LS6, Chrysler had the 426 HEMI, and Ford? They had the Windsor small blocks, solid engines, but they weren't keeping up with the horsepower race. Ford needed a monster. That's when they built the 351 Cleveland, a brand new design unlike the Windsor V8, which had been around since 1962. The Cleveland was built from scratch at a new facility in Cleveland, Ohio. Ford's engineers didn't just tweak an existing engine. They designed this as the future of Ford performance. Big block power in a small block package, the canted valve heads came from Ford's race-winning 429 Boss engines, giving it massive high RPM airflow. The larger intake ports allowed it to breathe like a big block, while staying lighter and more compact. It had thicker block walls and a stronger bottom end, meaning it could handle insane horsepower with modifications. Two versions for maximum domination, 2V version for fuel economy and street driving, 4V version for high-performance muscle cars, featuring high-flow heads, an aggressive camshaft, and 11.0:1 compression. But the real beast was yet to come. The engine that could have changed everything then. Ford unleashed the Boss 351 Mustang, a machine built for the sole purpose of destroying its rivals. This was no ordinary Mustang. It was a race car for the streets, a Mustang designed to out-rev, outpower, and out-handle anything in its class. 330 HP, underrated by Ford to fool insurance companies. 370 lb-ft of torque, screaming 7,000 RPM, redline forged internals, an aggressive solid lifter cam, and a high-rise aluminum intake manifold. It destroyed the Camaro Z/28, outran the HEMI power Mopars, and proved Ford could build a world-class performance car without a massive big block. It was lighter, sharper, and more aggressive than any other muscle car at the time. Even in NASCAR, the Cleveland was dominating. So if this engine was so good, why did Ford kill it? Why the 351 Cleveland was erased by 1973? Muscle cars were facing an extinction-level event. Insurance companies started jacking up rates on high-performance cars, making them unaffordable. New emissions laws were strangling horsepower, forcing automakers to choke performance with lower compression and weaker tuning. The oil crisis meant gas prices skyrocketed, and suddenly, nobody wanted thirsty V8s. Corporate greed took over. Ford's leadership started shifting towards fuel efficiency and cost-cutting. And just like that, the 351 Cleveland was abandoned. The Boss 351 was canceled after just 1 year. Power was detuned to meet emission standards. By 1974, Ford stopped producing the Cleveland for the U, a masterpiece thrown away. But was it really just about regulations? Or did Ford kill it on purpose? The hidden sabotage theory. Some believe Ford had internal conflict between engineers who wanted performance and executives who wanted profit. There are rumors that Ford intentionally downplayed the Cleveland's power because it threatened their future V8 lineup. Why? Because the Cleveland was so good, it made their other engines obsolete. If the Cleveland had evolved into the 1980s, it could have been fuel-injected like the later 5.0L Mustangs, gotten turbocharged to compete with the Buick Grand National, become Ford's flagship V8 instead of the Windsor instead. Ford let it die and replaced it with less capable engines that lasted decades. Could the Cleveland have changed history? Imagine if Ford had refined the Cleveland instead of killing it. A modern-day Boss 351 with direct injection and variable valve timing, a twin-turbo 351 Cleveland-powered Mustang instead of the EcoBoost, a Cleveland-powered Ford GT instead of the 5.4L mod motor, but we'll never know, because instead of adapting, Ford threw it away. And now, it exists only in legend. Did Ford make a mistake? So now I ask you, did Ford make a huge mistake by killing the 351 Cleveland? Should they have evolved it instead of burying it? Or was it just bad timing in a world that was turning its back on muscle cars? Drop your thoughts and comments. If you love forgotten car history, make sure to subscribe because the next story is even crazier. Turn on notifications so you never miss a video.